Hey guys, so sometimes you need to make mistakes in order to learn from them. I want to share what I have learned by making my own mistakes so that your HR department can make you suffer through this video so that when you do get it hurt, they can say, I told you so. Some of you have seen my other videos where I talk about how I cut off my finger using this circular saw. Actually, it still has the same blade in it. After that incident, I have become a lot more aware of potential hazards in the shop. And these are a few rules of thumb.
You look so dumb right now.
To practice that I do in my shop to stay safe. Follow these 3 simple rules and it'll be easy. Starting with rule number 1, be present. Not present, but like present. When you're working with a lot of these tools, they have a potential to be mundane in some of the tasks that you have to do. Like if you're cutting your dado with a single blade and you run your saw 10,000 times through a single piece. When you have a task like that, it's repetitive, and sometimes we have a tendency to let our minds wander. Don't, okay? Focus on what you're doing. Be present with every single cut. When you have the headspace to focus on what you're doing, you're less likely to miss something that could potentially cause you harm. Rule number 2, be aware. Awareness goes hand in hand with being present. When you have the present mindset, you can focus on the task at hand. Being aware of what you're doing lets you think through all of the things that could potentially go wrong with the task that you are trying to complete. Take, for example, this situation. This is something that we all do in our shops. You have to cut a really thin piece of your stock. Through your awareness, we can think through how we don't want to cut this thin piece without a zero clearance insert, because it could fall and get kicked back out of the blade. All kinds of things could be happening. Because we're aware, we think through them. With having awareness about the task, you can think through better ways to complete what you're trying to do. Rule number 3, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Something that I've done a lot in my shop, and maybe you've done the same too. When I'm trying to rip down a piece of material and it might fall between the blade and the guard, I will feed the board through the blade only halfway through the board. Then, after the blade stops when I've turned the saw off, you pull it out, feed it through the other way, keeping the same side of the board against my fence as it was before. I've developed this because I need to cut boards in half, but I didn't feel confident enough to cut it with just my push stick and feather board that I had at the time. I wasn't confident in performing the cut, so I had to think of another way. The saying is that there's a million ways to skin a cat. I'm not sure why anyone would want to do that because I'm sure they don't taste very good.
Oh, come on. Don't knock it till you try it. Put a little on your plate. Don't make a face before you taste it. Some kids think it's great.
Well, that's it. My 3 simple shop safety rules. They're pretty basic and simple, but it may help you think through some ways to stay safe in your shop, so you'll be out there working for years to come. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. But for now, please accept my virtual 4 3/4.